Hello everyone, I'm Arash. Welcome to the Twin Cities First Twin Cities Iranian Culture Week.
Thank you. I just have a few things to say, and I'll try to say them pretty quickly. First of all, I want you to know that both Governor Walz and Mayor Fry have proclaimed this week Twin Cities Iranian Culture Week, and I haven't picked up the originals yet, but both the mayor and the governor issued proclamations like this. I'll read it to you very quickly. Whereas Minnesota's Iranian-American community has enriched the vitality of our state through their activities in many fields, including commerce, industry, education, medicine, and the arts. And whereas Minnesota's Iranian-Americans take a deep pride in their cultural heritage, rich with accomplishments in the areas of art and architecture, music, and poetry. And whereas Iranian Culture Week will showcase local Iranian-Americans whose creative work in arts, literature, and scholarship illuminates that rich heritage. And whereas the mission of Iranian Culture Week is to give Minnesota's Iranian-Americans a way to share that rich culture with their children and for other Minnesotans to learn about the people and culture of Iran. Now, therefore, I, Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota, do hereby proclaim the week of August 18th to 24th, 2019 as Iranian Culture Week.
What you see here represents only a tiny portion of Iran's rich culture. We think we should have an Iran Culture Week at least once a year. Our goal is to establish an NGO for this purpose. Making this a regular event won't be easy, and we could use every bit of assistance from anyone who wants to help. Many thanks to those who made this year's Iran Culture Week happen with donations and volunteer dedication. And thank you for coming here.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight. 11 years ago when I came to the US as a student from Iran, I considered myself an Iranian white man from Asia. Soon I realized, based on the official forms, that I had to feel as a foreigner, and also based on my encounter with people here, that I was a Persian brown man from Middle East. If I would introduce myself as an Asian, people would look strangely at me, since to them Asia means China plus all the countries around it. To me, Iran was a country that stretched from Central Asia to West Asia and was not in the middle of any East. The Near East, the Middle East, and the Far East were regions that were defined relative to the Western mind. Moreover, I discovered the country had two identities based on two different names: Persia or Iran. Is it Persian rug or Iranian rug? In reality, Iranians have never called the land Persia. Iran's neighbors started calling the country Persia after the Persians, who were one out of many ethnical groups, ruled the land. Over centuries, the land was called Iran by the people who lived there. Almost 1,000 years ago, the name of this land was still Iran in the Epic of Shahnameh. Before that, the country was called Iran in the time of Sasanian dynasty. Then I realized that anything related to Persia takes on a magical, beautiful, and soft quality, while anything related to Iran is associated with the revolution in 1979, war, and the hostage crisis. I have observed how Iranians who are living here are swinging between these two identities. It is safer to introduce yourself as a Persian in the US, while you always introduce yourself as Iranian in Iran. By introducing yourself as a Persian, you gain the softness and magic of Persia as a Persian cat. But Persia never existed in Iran. Persia represents the nostalgia of the West that thinks of exotic, magical lands with golden palaces and beautiful women and fierce warriors. Even the word magic is taken from the Farsi word magi, which was simply a Zoroastrian priest. But in reality, for Iranians, Persian is not the whole identity. In fact, Persian is a language that is spoken in Iran, parts of Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. Iran is a westernized country in the Middle East. This is what I have heard from my American friends who want to admire Iran and distinguish between Iran and other West Asian countries like Saudi Arabia. They are trying to say that Iran is the lesser of the other evils in the region. But Iran is not a westernized country and not an evil country. What Iran is dealing with is modernization and not westernization. Iran is a country with a population of 82 million, twice as big as the state of Texas, connecting East Asia to West Asia and Europe with the Caspian Sea in the north and Persian Gulf in the south. It is the 31st biggest economy in the world. 13 different languages are spoken in Iran and produces cars like Paycon, planes, ships, and planes. Iran is modernizing rapidly, but not westernizing. So today we are here to merge these two different and distorted images of Persia and Iran into one. In this art gallery, we will see different forms of art that are expressing different sides of the Iranian psyche. Iranian art is not just about Persian rugs. Iranian music is not just about classical Iranian music. Iranians are exploring different mediums and forms to address the modern situation of life in Iran, in a country with a high population, with challenges in security, industrial life, big companies, human rights, women's rights, and so on. These challenges are expressed outside of the stereotypical Iranian form associated with the Western nostalgia for an unchanging Persia that is frozen in time. I hope you enjoyed the exhibition we have put together and talked with the artists and the guest lecturers about how their modern Iranian identity influenced their creative process. Thank you so much for being here.